the things I enjoy the most about this next guest is that he is always hustling. Every day he's hustling. We see him as a chef on Cityline all the time, but he's also a restaurateur. He's very important. Please welcome Chef Trevor Lui. Whenever we manage to get you in studio, it's a vibe. We're so happy.
We're dancing.
We're dancing.
Yep.
Now, you always have something going on, but you have a big something going on right now. So please tell us about your latest venture.
Can't sit still. We opened a new restaurant on the west side of Toronto called Fat Bao inside a beautiful little cocktail bar called Simple Things.
Give it up for Chef Trevor and Fat Bao. So this is, like you weren't busy enough. I mean, a whole restaurant, which is beautiful. And there's a whole sort of concept behind the restaurant. Tell us a little bit about what that's about.
Well, anytime we serve food, whether it's in catering or open a restaurant, we want to use the food as a vessel to tell stories.
Yes.
It's really about recapturing the authenticity of classic Chinese cuisine, but we call it neo-Chinese because we want to present it in a more new age way. Marrying it with things that we love, we grew up in because we grew up in North America, but really reclaiming a lot of that classic Chinese heritage and flavor.
I really love and appreciate and respect that because food is more than just food. Food is culture. It's a story, as you say. It tells a lot about history. And so the fact that you're being very true to these traditional recipes but doing them in a way for 2023 is very cool to me. What we're going to make right now is Kong Yu Bing. Kong Yu Bing. So tell me about this. Like, what is it? How do I say it properly?
Well, Kong Yu Bing is phonetically in Mandarin, Kong Yu Bing. In Cantonese, it's Chong Yao Bang. But when you interpret it, it actually means scallion pancake. And we talk about things like Kong Yu Bing. Sometimes we have a feeling of whether or not that's the name we should put in our menu because that sometimes becomes a barrier for customers in actually ordering food.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing because I think we've all sort of normalized French menus, Italian menus, and we have learned those languages in order to order the things we want.
Correct.
Why can't we do that for Cantonese and Mandarin and you know, Chinese recipes?
We are seeing a lot of that. There's more of an acceptance of normalizing ethnic cuisine, particularly in North America.
Yeah.
Chinese food is probably the most misunderstood cuisine because there's so many regions.
Yeah.
In North America, we have North American Chinese, something we grew up in my dad's restaurant with, but that's not really Chinese food for all of us that grew up eating authentic Chinese food. It's regional to North America, but some of this stuff is really regional to some of the places we grew up in, and we're marrying it with amazing North American technique as well.
Well, you're like centering this whole thing on mortadella, so tell me about that.
I mean, mortadella is, I grew up in, you know, just a little north suburb called Rexdale with a very vibrant Italian community. In the plaza where my dad's restaurant was, we had a Chinese restaurant, a Korean gentleman owned a convenience store. His name was Mr. Kim. We had a hair salon, a bakery, and then we had a huge Italian grocery store across. So I ran around seeing rabbit and mortadella and bologna. So mortadella for me is one of those things we love. It's in my top 10 things.
Okay, beautiful. Well, now we have like 4 minutes to make the recipe.
I know. Okay, scallion pancake. Scallion pancake. We get these scallion pancakes made for us in Toronto. Very important. It's kind of like that frozen pizza. That when they say cook it frozen, you want to take this out of the freezer, give it a couple of minutes so it's kind of malleable like this. So it's still a little frozen. So in a hot pan, some neutral oil.
So you're not trying to thaw it or anything?
No, we're not trying to thaw. We're going to put this right in,
into the pan.
And we're going to let heat and magic do this. Now, the other big thing we have in this that you got to cook, because there's not a ton of cooking, there's a lot of assembling here, are the dressings and a poached egg. If you've got a sous vide, now I understand you have a sous vide at home.
We have a sous vide, and I never put eggs in it.
No, so this is essentially a
meat.
It's a meat jacuzzi, basically.
It sure is.
This
feels
is
good in
raw
there.
immersion cooking. So you get to set a temperature, and it stays that temperature. It won't vary. So we're doing a sous vide egg. We want it to be a little runny, almost like gelatinous. So there's a very exact temperature we put it at. We put the eggs in. 45 minutes, an hour, it'll stay like that. You can walk away and leave it.
Beautiful.
Okay, so in case you don't want to do that, you know what we can do
if you don't have a sous vide,
we can teach you to poach an egg.
Scary.
We can teach you to poach an egg.
Which I find very hard.
It's not that hard once you learn. So here we got some water. We don't want it violently bubbling. We just want it simmering. What we want to do is we want to get a spoon and we want to create a vortex.
Science. Then
we want to add a little bit of white vinegar, which will help the science of separating the white, not to separate too much. Very important, egg in a container.
Slowly,
and then slowly let it in. Now let science do its work. While that's happening, we're going to flip this pancake over.
That is so cool.
Look at that already. All right. Now, we're going to do our dressings, Tracy.
Yep.
We have 2 dressings here because we have arugula, which we're going to create a little bit of a salad.
Okay.
So a little bit of fresh lemon juice.
Good.
Some olive oil, because who needs...
That's the cutest little...
This is like my traveling olive oil.
That's adorable.
I put it in my back pocket. We have a little bit of grainy mustard.
Okay.
This is Provençal mustard, so it's got a little bit of color. And then we've got our joy sauce, our joy spice, which is our finishing spice.
Okay.
And then what's really important that everyone should have at home is a Chinese whisk. Okay? Chopsticks.
I have so many of them.
They're good for making dressing. They're great for eating snacks on the couch. You don't get your fingers dirty. They're also really good at. They're also really good at disciplining your children. So
yeah, they are.
my mother would tell you that we've broken many.
I remember those days.
Back when it was legal to discipline your children with chopsticks. We don't do it anymore.
No.
Okay,
the other. Basically anything close by, really. Paper towel roll.
Paper towel roll.
Slipper.
The duster.
Yep,
right?
duster. Anything goes.
So then the last one is going to be. This is almost like if you're making wontons, you make this dipping sauce. Soy sauce. Trevor's chili sauce, and then some Chinese black vinegar, okay?
Very nice.
Now it's plating time. This is pretty much done.
That's quick with the pancake.
And look at the egg. Look at the egg. It's doing its magic right now.
So this is what you want. It's perfectly poached, and we didn't mess with it or anything.
We didn't mess with it. We're gonna cut this almost like a pizza.
Okay.
If you've got only 2 people, you can make 4. At the restaurant, we do 6 to 8 because we really want to share the food.
Yeah, that's part of it, right?
So here's the base of the chung yao bang.
We have a minute left.
Oh, we're going to make this happen, Tracy.
It's going to happen. I'm not even nervous.
We've done
Maybe
things a lot
nervous.
quicker. Okay.
Yeah.
Mortadella, lots of it. If you like mortadella, put more in. Don't ever buy light because you'll get judged by people.
Oh, okay.
I did that once. My friends judged me.
Oh, so don't get the light.
We got some arugula in here.
Nice.
And what we're going to do is we're just going to toss it with this dressing.
Lovely.
Okay.
And I'm interested to see where the arugula is going to go.
We're making a wreath.
Oh, isn't
We're making
that
a
nice?
wreath.
Lovely.
A wreath of arugula. Get a little bit more arugula
so
here.
So you get a little bit, you get your carbs, you get your protein, you get your veg, a ton of greens on there.
We're almost there. This is what we're going to do.
We got to do the egg.
We got to do the egg, Trace.
Okay, so when you do the egg, this is where you get sort of the money shot. So we want to make sure that we can see this.
Okay, look at that sous vide egg. See how that thing just kind of came out like that, right?
That's what you want, though,
This is what we want. We want that yolk right there. And then we're going to take some of this dressing. Okay.
Nice.
Just a little bit like this.
We're missing
silence. Can you pass the cheese, Trace?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't tell you that we're putting aged cheddar in this.
You kept that a secret. Cityline.tv for the recipe. As you can see, it is a lot of assembly, but it's all of these things that you're putting on now that's going to take you to Flavor Town.
It's going to take you to Flavor Town. And what you want to do is you want to see who the person is going to be that gets to break that egg. If
you put it right there, we're going to get a shot of it, right where it was.
Right where it was here?
Yeah.
And then we want to just do this.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you see that?
That's your
That's a money shot, right? That's your Instagram
everybody.
shot.
Perfectly done egg. You want it to be ooey gooey good, a little gelatinous. It is perfection. We're going to break. We have more coming up. Go get the recipe. Cityline.tv. Well done.